You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to Cards to the Moon. This is episode 205. My name is Clark from 5cardguys.com and 5cardguys on Instagram. With me co-hosting, as usual, is Hyung of Integrity Sports Cards. But this week, John's away. But again, we can always trust our good friend Will to fill in whenever we have one of our hosts missing. So welcome back, Will. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it because there's been a couple big announcements in the hobby recently. So off the top, I want to start with the news that eBay is acquiring Goldin Auctions. It was rumored for the last couple of weeks. Quick shout out to Cage the Lawyer. I think he began to report those rumors, or that's where I heard about it first. But now it is official with, I believe the acquisition is going to be finalized in June of this year. Just to add some brief context, Goldin Auctions was first acquired by Collectors Inc., right? Which is, of course, the parent company of PSA, the popular grading service company. And now they flipped essentially Goldin to eBay. And in return, Collectors Inc. gets the eBay Vault service as part of that deal. All right. So if you got all that in your head, that's the transaction that will happen in the next couple of months. So what are your initial thoughts when you first heard the news that Goldin is now coming under eBay's umbrella?
Yeah, I think it's tough to just even unwrap. Like, I don't understand the
right.
full deal because there's so many moving parts, right? So eBay buys Goldin. So Ken Goldin sold again in the last 2 years? Does that mean? Like, cause he sold to Collectors, right?
So I guess he was officially an employee of Collectors, and Ken Goldin is still going to be at the head of Goldin Auctions under eBay.
So he doesn't have ownership
he just has a new boss.
Okay, I see.
Right.
So he stays as the role CEO. Well, and then what was the other deal? This is like a pick one. Like it's almost like a trade. They just created a big trade like of slabs, but instead of slabs, they traded companies.
Right. So Collectors gets the eBay Vault service.
Right. Okay.
So they're essentially doubling down on the vaulting service. Okay. Right.
Okay. So first off, I don't think, I'll just put it out there, I don't think hobbyists will like this news. I guarantee you, I didn't check, but there's probably a lot more negative news than positive news. I don't know why, but looking at both sides, it makes sense right off the bat. I don't know the details of it, but from a collector standpoint, you acquired SGC, you have PSA,
yep.
You're streamlining the process of now grading to Vault service. PSA Vault sucked before. So they always trailed like PWCC Vault, like they were always the second tier. So now it puts them stronger. In return, eBay, who's the biggest marketplace in the world, attains a high-end auction house without losing any current value. So I would say, from a business standpoint, it could be equal. Like it would be mutual. It would be a mutual move. And I also think when Ken Goldin initially sold to Nat Turner and stuff like that group, I don't think they hit the expectations they were thinking. They bought at the height of the hobby, thinking maybe XYZ, and XYZ didn't happen. So it was more of a strategic move to kind of say, okay, where do we want to go in the future? And it follows suit for kind of both. I think eBay Vault has a lot of value that they've built. That's what PSA was lacking too. So I think it makes sense to me, but whether it's good for the hobby or not, to be determined. Like it feels like every week there's always a big market mover that totally changes the industry. So at this point, everything's for change.
Yep. Yeah. Interesting. Well, you actually have used PWCC Vault service, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if you could speak before you kind of talk about what you think about the deal. Something Hyung mentioned, like PSA Vault service. Do you think that PWCC was the gold standard, or?
Yeah, I mean, like the Vault service, I wasn't using it because I wanted to use it. I was using it because I bought some cards on auction at PWCC and I didn't want to pay to have them shipped up to us in Canada. It's too expensive. And they also incentivize you keeping it in the vault because I think if you keep it in for like 3 months or something, when you withdraw that card, your fulfillment fee drops down from like 3% to 1% or something like that. So that's why I was using the Vault service. I can't compare the other Vault services. I haven't used any of the other ones. But yeah, getting back to your question of like, what is the implication of this eBay and Goldin thing? I'm pretty happy about the change, but I think for most people, it's not going to change anything because most people weren't using Goldin Auctions for buying or selling. I think auction houses like PWCC and Goldin, they're good for when you're trying to sell or buy premier items like, $40,000, $50,000 items, stuff that the companies themselves are going to throw on X and throw on Instagram and kind of market and advertise for you. But really those auction house, like the apps, the websites, they're not really good in comparison to eBay. Like their search function's not good. You can't save searches, so you get notifications when a card that you've been looking for or that you might be interested shows up. So in terms of visibility, it's just not there. In terms of usability, those websites are just trash. They're you search on eBay, you get the answers, you get results in a millisecond.
You're right.
But on PWCC or Goldin, there's a little bit of a lag, and it's like I'm going back to my childhood of watching, printers print one line at a time or connecting internet through the phone line and stuff like that. So
yeah.
If I was a seller on those auction houses, I'd be a little bit nervous that eyes aren't seeing it, So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not going to change most people's user experience, like in the hobby of buying and selling and stuff like that. But the reason why I like it is because I like not having to search through multiple auction houses, going to eBay, going to PWCC, going to Goldin. It's kind of like when you're trying to find a movie that you want to watch and you're not sure if it's on Netflix or on Prime or on Disney Plus or HBO Max. So you search all of them and then you find out it's only available to buy and you're like, what a waste of 5 minutes. And then, and then you end up just surfing Netflix, like trying to find a show you don't.
So you end up buying a card, right?
Yeah, exactly. So exactly. Like my personal experience of like earlier, like end of 2022, there was a 1-of-1 PC card that I was chasing. Well, I could tell you, it's DeMar DeRozan's Bowman 48 red. It's a 1-of-1, and I had never even thought to look for it until like a couple months later. I was on Card Ladder. I was just looking up like DeMar DeRozan's like recent sales for like high-end cards, and I see that the card sold on Goldin, and I'm like, wait a second, like I would have been in on that card, like I would have been interested in buying that card, but I just never knew. So in that way, I think the eBay buying Goldin makes it a little bit easier for the user. So I'm hoping it prevents us from missing out on opportunities like that. But overall, like all the stuff that Hyung was saying about like these big companies buying and selling or whatever, and like trading each other, like trading like their trading cards, like I love that idea. Like we're so small time, we're talking about Shohei Ohtani base cards versus them trading Fortune 500 companies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think we gotta change our podcast, like focus on some bigger fish.
Yeah, that's great points. Great points. And I agree with everything you guys brought up, especially, well, the first thing I kind of wanted to go circle back to is the search function. I hope that eBay buying Goldin, the search function for Goldin improves, because you're absolutely right, Will.
It's
like
the worst.
If you search, like I like to collect autograph cards, right? Or search for autograph cards. On Goldin, if you just put autograph, certain results will show up. But if you put auto, nothing will show up. You know what I mean? Like it's not intuitive. You have to type in the whole autograph word itself, and then it's silly. Like eBay, you could do autograph, it'll find whatever, like you were saying, right? So in that sense, maybe there's some ties or crossover between eBay and Goldin, because I also heard that they're going to keep Goldin Auctions as is. It's not going to be integrated into the eBay platform. You still can go to the Goldin website, but maybe on the eBay site, if you're looking for a premier auction, they might start to list some of the Goldin items. You know what I mean? And then you could maybe bid on the eBay platform or for certain cards. I don't know. I'm sure they'll work something out where it's flexible, going between both auction houses, eBay and Goldin. So that might be a good thing for both the buyer and seller, because you're mentioning, sellers would want more eyes on their cards that they're selling. I'm sure the guy who was trying to sell that DeMar DeRozan 1/1 would have loved for you to, bid it up.
He would have loved me. Yeah. He would have made so much more money.
Exactly. So I think that's interesting. And then, with collectors, I guess, I do see what you're saying too, Hyung, like that they probably bought at the wrong time, and they're just probably like, oh, let's consolidate some of our core services, and let's focus on vaulting. And I think one of the other news that came out of it is that there's a connection between eBay and PSA, that they're working together, and that if you send something to be graded by PSA, you can automatically list it to eBay.
Yeah.
That's like
a partnership. Yeah. Which makes sense, which is a great service. I think that is a plus for offering that for sure. But going back, that's the whole point when I said why would collectors acquire someone like SGC? And then now it's kind of like if you could consolidate that service within now PSA, SGC, and the vault, right? It makes a lot more sense to kind of dominate that vault market, because now you're going from grading cards to straight to the vault for both PSA and SGC now, right? So, yep,
for sure. All right. Before we move on to hobby headlines, we were just kind of talking off air right before we started recording. The whole Shohei interpreter news kind of dropped in terms of more details about the case. Wow. And it looks like the interpreter is in big trouble if everything is true in the allegations in the court filings. But I just wanted to circle back just briefly. We talked about it before, like whether we would be nervous about, buying Shohei cards, especially higher end cards. And, it looks like people are thinking that Shohei's in the clear. And then we're just kind of half joking. Do we think there's a conspiracy behind it? And are we just going to ignore it? What do you guys think? Are you hearing more details? What do you think is the play here?
I don't like the answers I'm hearing. We'll put it that way. I don't buy it at all. There's definitely, I don't think Ohtani's in the clear. Something like a $40 million discrepancy is a pretty big deal for a big company, let alone a person. And then this thing that surfaces up about he spent how much on cards? Like
$375,000. Yeah.
Right. So we were joking about this, but is that why the Bowman Chromes are so expensive? Like he's just sniping
he's cornering
them?
The market. Yeah.
Is it Trout's influence?
Hey, let's not smear Mike Trout's name. I have his rookie card still.
You have some cards in, but I call BS on some of this stuff. They're just trying to, damage control at this point. The story sounds big. Like, are there any arrests gonna happen? Like,
I think they said that he could go to jail for 30 years.
That's
It's like longer than first degree murder.
good Lord.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of guy to have fear in anything, but I'm gonna be holding off on Ohtani cards just for now. Just the story gets more crazier and crazier, so I don't think he's out in the clear.
Okay, fair enough.
I think even if all the conspiracies or even half of the conspiracies are true, I think baseball is too tied into Shohei, but also like too tied into sports cards, through Fanatics and the MLB PA. Like there's I think this is going to be the end. We're not going to find out any more information. They're setting it up to be like, hey, this is what we found. Yes, Shohei looks really bad, but he's not a bad guy. He's just really trusting. Like they're trying to spin it to make it seem like, well, no, like he could be guilty, or he could just be the sweetest man alive who just trusts his friend with his bank account, and like, he's like this sweet idiot. Like, it's just like, oh, like let's not focus on that. Let's focus on how he's already hit 3 bombs, and the Dodgers are whatever 10-1 or whatever ridiculous record they've got. So I feel like it's nothing else is coming out. There probably could, and maybe there should, but I think MLB's got this. They've got this tied up.
Yeah, I can see both sides, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous too. I'm a little nervous. Like there are loose ends all over the place, and yeah, the more details we hear about this, the more questions I have. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be the other way around.
The crazy thing, it went to sports cards. Like that's insane.
Yeah, that
is like you right now. Sports card is getting the free marketing like crazy right now.
Yeah, that's
hundreds of millions of people saying what he bet $375K on sports cards. Is sports cards a thing? Cards. Yeah,
I want to know what cards he's getting.
It's his.
I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was on someone's social media feed. Apparently, some of the cards that he was collecting were like Yogi Berra, like vintage, and as well as Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, he was collecting Shohei's cards.
It makes sense though. Like when you're talking and having those conversations with like multimillionaires, they're probably talking. They're not talking about, hey, let's go in breaks, or let's go invest in modern. They're talking about the 52 Manels, the Jackie Robinsons, the Hank Aarons. You know what I mean? So I would give him that. Yeah.
I don't know. Ippei's a degenerate. He was definitely on what not breaks. Yeah, he was buying into breaks for sure.
Yeah, you know it. 40 million lost on breaks.
How do you think Backyard Breaks got so successful? It was all Ippei.
Oh, that's gold.
Oh man. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So we'll see what happens. I wasn't gonna buy any high-end Shohei Ohtani cards. I feel like they still haven't really gone down in price that much anyways. So it's maybe I'll look at the price action now, see if there's any changes in the coming weeks. And, it's really a matter of like how much it decreases if it does. There's always a number where you're like, it's worth the risk at that point.
I got some numbers for you. 15 games, batting average 333, OPS 1.012, 3 bombs, 8 doubles, a triple.
It's amazing. Yeah.
His cards aren't going down.
and it doesn't really help that on my feed, MLB, every home run that Shohei hits, they're like highlighting it.
Yeah.
And then, it's kind of silly at this point. It's like, are you going to do this for every home run Shohei hits? Just like another bomb. And, guys like Mike Trout in the meantime, he has double the amount, around 6 or 7, right? So let's give some love to Trouty, eh? Come on. But Ohtani's a golden goose for MLB right now. All right. We'll see how the summer plays out for both, the eBay Goldin partnership and as well, of course.
It's only a kick, a jump, a block. It's only a serve. It's only a tackle, a run. It's only for the fans. After all, it's only pressure. You got this. Adidas.
We'll keep a close eye on this Shohei interpreter drama. All right, let's move on now to hobby headlines. Okay, so the other big announcement we just heard today, the day of our podcast recording this morning, is that Fanatics, under its Fanatics Events company, will be launching its first Fanatics event, which they're calling Fanatics Fest. And it's going to be taking place in New York City this August. Now, if you go onto their website at fanaticsfest.com, it describes the event as, quote, a once-in-a-lifetime fan event that will bring together fans across all sports to celebrate their passions under one roof at New York City's Javits Center from August 16 to 18, end quote. Now, I can already hear some collectors putting this down because it's not going to be just a sports card collectors convention like the National, right? And, you know, Michael Rubin, he's already confirmed that, the Fanatics CEO. He just posted on Instagram recently, and it seems that he's almost equating this Fanatics Fest NYC event to things like Comic-Con and South by Southwest, the music festival, where it is more of a festival vibe, right? And I think what he's trying to do, or Fanatics Events is trying to do, is get more people into the hobby from, you know, by catering to general sports enthusiasts, not just sports cards collectors. So let's talk about this. First, what are your initial thoughts about Fanatics Fest NYC?
I really think you can't compare the two. I think it's like you just said, Michael Rubin is targeting a whole different demographics. Hobbyists shouldn't expect the same as the National, because the National does $3 million of revenue per year around. Fanatics does $3 billion. Who do you think's going to win in marketing, in events, in exposure? It's not even in the same class. Like, I don't have any affiliation with National or have any bad things to say, but they're in a different ballgame. Like, we're talking Fanatics, Derek Jeter, Tom Brady. They have access to these guys. They have access to, I guess, Hollywood celebrities wouldn't be the best example, but right now, but they have access to people to market properly. And I just think of this as totally different than the National. You're not going there to trade cards. You're going to experience a new, like, completely different futuristic marketplace of how the industry is. So maybe there's experiences there, like breaking obviously will be a big part of Fanatics. So I don't know how they would do stuff like that, but they would have booths there that would be more relevant. It's not like, like you go to the National, it's a bunch of guys, hobbyists, just trading cards, buying and selling. This is totally different. It's not their main purpose, right? So that's why I think they're going to win regardless, because at the end of the day, you've seen what Fanatics is doing with the marketing already. You know, we've said this before, and we've talked about this actually last year probably, or whenever the news was released that Fanatics was doing this. And I'm in the same boat as last time. You know, they know what they're doing from a marketing standpoint. And at the end of the day, I will guarantee you they will win. Period. End of story. They're going to rule the marketplace. It's going to bring in a ton of people that are interested in this hobby or will be interested in this hobby. And it has nothing to do with the current collectors, really. Or the people that want to embrace change, they will be there. Right? Like, for me, I want to go. Not going to lie.
Me too.
Exactly.
Yep.
There you go. Just on that alone, right? You can't say it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, what do you think?
I'm laying the groundwork with my wife right now, doing picking up some extra chores.
You got 4 months?
trying to get my permission slip signed. But yeah, like Hyung mentioned, you got Jeter, you got Brady, you got the Manning brothers, you have Hulk Hogan, you have Katie. They're all featured on that main page, and there's going to be way more superstars. And Fanatics is not going to botch this first event, right? Like they're going to make it really, really good. I'm a bit wary of them calling it Fanatics Fest. It sounds a little too close to Fire Fest. And, I feel like the level of expectation and hype will be like at Fire Fest level. But like Hyung says, Fanatics is a 3 billion or whatever billion amount of.
Yeah, they do 3 billion a year.
So they're a huge company. So I think that they are going to meet the hype. As for the national, I haven't gone to the national, so it's hard to compare. But I feel like they should feel some pressure to improve, because the one thing that Fanatics Fest is going to do is they're going to give you like an entertaining event where the fan is put first. Like your experience is everything.
Yeah. 100%,
Whereas at the nationals, they're like, oh yeah, we didn't have air conditioning for the first 2 days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, oh,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
you know what? We were going to have Wi-Fi, but we didn't want to pay extra for...
That's rookie ball compared to the big leagues.
Telecom communications companies to come out and set up a better, modem and router, and So I feel like for the longest time, the National has always been, the biggest convention. They've had no competition, and so they don't care about the product that they themselves are putting out. Yeah, like the vendors are putting out really great cards. The people are showing up in droves to make trades, buy and sell, all this stuff. So that part of the experience is great. But in terms of the stuff that the National can take care of, they never did. And maybe now there's going to be a fire under their butts to really make that happen. Like I know even with the Toronto Sport Card Expo, every year that I've gone, they have it twice a year in Toronto. Every single time I've gone, it's gotten, a little bit better each time. They have more fan engagement stuff. Like they have this upper deck, the second level thing where you can kind of just hang out, like a lounge area. They're bringing in better food options. Like when your best food option is the hot dog vendor outside.
Yes.
Like then you've got a problem. And he is the best. Like that guy makes a ton of money. He rakes it in that weekend. Because like the food options inside were so atrocious. You're like, why would I I'm not gonna spend $14 for a slice of pizza. Like that's ridiculous. So so hopefully the National kind of feels the pressure and starts making a better experience for fans, for attendance, because the experience is everything.
Yes, I agree. Do you think there's a scenario where it's, one of those rising tide lifts all boats? So if Fanatics Fest does well, that it could actually have a positive effect on the National in that, people want, honestly, I said at the beginning of this year, I think, Will, you're on the first podcast of 2024 with John, and I made that special announcement that I was planning to go to the National for the first time this year. I'm not going to lie, with this announcement, I might pivot. I might go to Fanatics Fest instead.
I like that idea. I think I'm with you, Clark.
I'm down.
Right?
I'm down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. If you guys are down, I think my decisions are pretty much 100%
Hey,
right now.
sorry.
But,
it was 6 billion, not 3 billion. Just
Wow.
put it out there. So the marketing budget's
Right.
double. So
yeah. They could just throw cash and win
They're
the
good.
game easily
They're
that
good.
way, just by throwing money. Yeah. But no, just going back to this rising tide lift all boats concept, where by bringing more people into the hobby, right, from general sports fans, maybe they're not into sports cards yet, that they could see, oh, there's the National, which is really just purely dedicated to sports cards. Maybe I'll go attend that as well, right, next year, because it is. For this year, it is 3 weeks apart. So that's another complaint from some of the people I've heard online where, like the announcement just came out today and then, they realize for some people, it's hard to go to both, right? Especially if you're not in the Cleveland or New York area, you got to travel to both places. That's going to cost money, hotels and such. So in that sense, maybe you don't go to both one year, but then in other years, you're like, maybe I'll check out the national. Maybe like I was one of those sports enthusiasts that came out to Fanatics Fest because I happened to be living near New York City, more accessible. And then I got into sports cards, and I'm like, whoa, there's something called the national I can buy more cards. Maybe I'll go to that. Do you know what I mean? Do you think there's a scenario where that it is going to be a positive experience for both the National and Fanatics Fest, right? Not saying that the National shouldn't do anything. They need to. I agree with what you guys mentioned, that this should really force them to make their fan experience better, right? Because if they don't, then it's kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They're like, oh, I went to Fanatics Fest where they had amazing air conditioning, amazing Wi-Fi. They had enough of it. Well, I guess we'll see this, right? We don't know how big their trading card pit is going to be. They're going to have something like that. They're going to have breaking, obviously, because Fanatics Live is a big part of their business. Maybe that's good enough for sports card collectors, that like, hey, this is good enough. It's big enough. I could trade. I met a lot of other collectors, and it could go the other way. Maybe I don't need to go to National every year like I hope to.
I think I'm gonna say that it's mind blowing. I don't do this full time, obviously. I don't go to every card shows every weekend. I don't go to any card shows for that matter because I'm so busy. How are people like going every week and then going to the National and then expect to go to like New York? I don't think it's crazy. You'd lose so much money. Like it's not like we're making money off cards. Everybody's not making money off cards. Trust me. So it's like, how do you like, you're losing a lot. We're losing 5 digits a year just on traveling alone. Right.
Right.
I don't think it's really a card thing, or it can be like, justified as like a card show. So, it would be a more generic, market, whereas the National is specific for card people. So like usually people would sell cards to make some profits, unload cards, and then they try selling at the National to make up for some. But I don't think you're going to get that same thing in New York. And the demographics too, I think, is going to be a little different. I don't think I'm going to be walking around with my slabs necessary. Maybe a couple, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect. But I just don't think that it's the same thing that we're talking about, because even like I said, sustainability, it's too expensive. Like, who has enough money to get a hotel in New York, stay there for 3 days? I'm sure the food's not the cheapest either. So yeah, it's expensive. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah. I think it just depends on what Fanatics' intention is with that show. Like, if they're setting it up 3 weeks after, was it before or after?
After.
3 weeks after, so they're kind of close, and they're saying they're going to have trading pit. They're saying that it is going to have stuff with trading cards and stuff. So they're bumping up real close to the Nationals, and I feel like that's intentional. And so if their intention is to become the best convention for trading cards, then they'll do it. Just like Hyung said, they are way bigger and they can do it if they want to. For the National, I think it just depends on them, on what they want to do, how they want to pivot. Like, I always think competition's a good thing. Like, even in my business, like, I don't really like facing competition. Like, if somebody were to open up shop right next to mine, I'd be a little bit annoyed if it's in the same field. Right. But then I'd also take it as like, all right, that's a challenge. I have to be better. I now know how I have to grow. And if I do grow, and if I am good at my job, and I'm good at marketing, I'm good at selling, all this stuff, then I'm going to win. And that's good. That's how it should go. Or I'm going to pivot away from what they're offering and stuff like that. So I think it depends on the National, how forward thinking they are, how progressive they are in their growth. But I feel like if Fanatics wants to, they'll smash the National.
You guys raised a lot of interesting points. It made me think, right? Because if the National doesn't do anything, I'm with you guys. They'll probably be crushed.
They're BGS. They become BGS.
They are BGS.
Yeah.
They've been BGS for 43 years or whatever. It's the same.
Speaking of BGS, we didn't even come to that news that they're doing a lot of these new initiatives. We'll do that next episode. But what you guys made me think about is that it is really expensive to go to these shows, especially if you're out of town, right? So maybe the intention is not to make money or flip like, a lot of people seem to do during the pandemic, because it's like, oh, this is fun, and our flipping is definitely covering the cost of our hotel rooms because we're making crazy amount of money. But now that everything's kind of settled down, maybe these events are more like fun events to go to where you can meet friends that you made during the hobby in your hometown, because we're all connected. Even doing this podcast, we're not in the same room, right? Even buying and selling cards, we were talking about eBay and Goldin, we buy and sell most of our cards online, not by going to trade nights, and so maybe these once in a year events or twice in a year events are just opportunities to kind of connect to other hobby friends or even dealers that we know of on a personal level, because it's fun to just meet people like friends, and this is our main intention, to connect,
right.
And if that's the main intention, then I do think there's going to be a problem for the National, because it sounds already like Fanatics Fest sounds much cooler to go to.
They just lost the three of us.
They just lost 3 customers. Yeah, like in the span of like 10 minutes of discussion, they're like, okay, we're going to New York.
Yeah, Fanatics didn't say anything.
They didn't market.
We convinced ourselves in just talking.
Yeah,
for 10
that's how
minutes.
good their marketing is.
Yeah, it's like,
Wow,
let's go to Fanatics Fest. Like
hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that each night it's a $60 admission fee for the Fanatics show, and then to the National it's $20. Doesn't matter. We're going to Fanatics Fest.
Yeah,
we're willing to pay up for the experience. So yeah, maybe that's going to be the reality. I'm with you guys. I think the Nationals got to really do something at this point, and what they do, maybe they do have to pivot. I don't know, but yeah. So there is a local White Plains show that I kind of feel bad for. Like, people are talking about local White Plains card show that's kind of been a staple in that New York suburb, New York City community, and I think they're going to be the first to go in terms of, it's like, not having a big attendance that weekend, because it's
same weekend.
It's the same 3 days. Yes. Oh. Yeah. What else can we talk about this Fanatics Fest event? I heard that the booths for this first event are pretty expensive in comparison, and it is by invite only, according to a friend of ours that heard through someone that they know is going to set up there at Fanatics Fest this year. So I guess they're really trying to curate it so that they can provide a really good fan experience. And I know online, some people don't like that, especially the purist sports card collectors. They're like, we don't even know who the vendors are. That sounds shady.
Oh my God.
I guess that's to be expected.
Yeah. I see those comments all the time. It's just mind blowing, but yeah.
Those guys are selling out of the Beckett book guide.
I don't mind that. I seen somebody do that like the other day, and I like just going through the Beckett. I'm like, this guy's still using Beckett. It's amazing. And I want to get a copy of that because, it just brings that nostalgia. But yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I guess just to wrap this segment up then, if you just go on their website, it does sound pretty cool, like the athlete meet and greet opportunities. There's something called the Sports and Trading Card Memorabilia Museum, immersive brand and league activations. So you can expect a lot of surprises that way in terms of things being launched during the 3 days. And of course, all the A-list athletes and celebrities that are going to be there as well. So we'll talk after the show, guys, what our plans are for that weekend. And maybe we could stay at the same hotel in New York City, because it sounds like we're going to be there. All right, let's move on.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
To our next segment, we're calling Would You Rather. All right, so I kind of ran out a little bit of time in terms of preparing for this show. So I got a couple, and if you guys have a couple of Would You Rathers you want to add, yeah, let's do it. So I'll start out with the first two that I thought of. All right, and this is when I just kind of give you two cards or two hobby scenarios, and you choose which one you'd rather choose. All right, first one. We didn't even talk about this either. The MLB debut patch for Jackson Holiday, who just got called up. That's going to be huge. A lot of people are talking about that. Jackson Chourio, he's going to have an MLB debut patch next year. Anthony Volpe, no disrespect. Jordan Walker, no disrespect. But Holiday and Chourio are going to be an even bigger chase, whatever set they come out of, right? So, and we talked about this before too, right? The MLB debut patch versus the Superfractor Auto in a previous episode. Like, which one's going to be bigger in the future? So let's start off with that. I want to kind of revisit that debate. Which one would you rather choose? The MLB debut patch for any rookie that has one, or their Superfractor autograph card?
God damn.
Did you change your mind since last time?
It's leaning towards, yeah. I don't think I'm fully changed on this. I still would take the Superfractor Auto, but like Jackson Holiday or Jackson Chourio's MLB debut patch would be pretty rad. I think it's growing on me more and more, and I knew that it was gonna be an evolution, because even we talked about this off air, like just RPAs in general. I think they're gonna be a thing of the future. There's gonna be a high demand for it, so might be the start of that era where RPAs, Topps Dynasties, all these RPA brands are going to be more valuable. And Fanatics, with Fanatics' capabilities, again, with the memorabilia side, they can make some cool patch autos. So I'm going to start leaning towards the Major League patch auto, but not there yet.
Okay. So Hyung Superfractor. All right. Well,
yeah, I mean, like I'm not a big fan of rookie patch autos. I don't really like patches. But something about that debut patch, it's pretty special. I love Superfractors. They're so beautiful to look at. But I've seen a couple of these debut patch autos on auction recently, and I was just like daydreaming about owning them. Oh, I'm just like, Hyung. You know what? I think I've switched over. I think I'm over on the dark side.
Wow.
I think the only patch auto that I would rather want over the 1-of-1 Superfractor is the debut one. That's the only patch.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Hyung, you're sticking with the Superfractor for now, and Will's crossed over to the MLB debut patch. I've crossed over too. I'm MLB debut patch. I don't know if it's a freaking Fanatics. I don't know the marketing, because they're like, I don't know if you saw the recent post with Jackson Holiday after his game. They showed a video of his uniform, and they actually took off the patch.
Yeah, they're killing it on the marketing, man.
Oh man,
it's working. It's totally working. Okay, so the next two would you rather is kind of a build on this. Okay, so you'll see what I mean. Jackson Holiday or Jackson Chourio. Which card would you rather have, just as a player?
As a player, we talked about this last week or a couple weeks ago, where we like Jackson Chourio based on prices, but this is just now based on player.
Invest. I'm going to hold on to this guy's card for 10 years.
Man, I go back and forth on this too. It's crazy. I never thought, because Jackson Chourio, I'm a huge fan of.
He's doing well right off the gate.
Right off the gate, he might 30-30 in his rookie year. I know that sounds bold, but
damn.
Yeah, like that's the type of player as a 20-year-old or 20-year-old, I think still. Mm-hmm. Holiday is really good too. Like his swing is gonna play. I'm telling you, he's a superstar. He's a superstar. That's the problem. He's a superstar. Right. Chourio's a superstar too. Before what? Give me one last consolation.
No. Before you choose, just to elaborate on that point, I don't know if you saw Buster Olney, the ESPN
I saw
reporter. That. Yeah, he tweeted 10 years ago, I think 2013, 11 years ago, that he said Jackson Holiday was going to be a star or something like that, right? And then someone quoted, "Isn't that too early to say?" This was like when he was like
9 years
teenager,
old.
or 12
No,
or
he was
9,
nine,
right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. He's like, this guy's going to be a star. And someone said, "Isn't that too early?" And he's like, "No, I'm going to stick by it. I saw a swing." And then, like now it looks like Buster Olney was totally right.
His swing is so pretty. There's not a lot of holes in it. He's such a mature hitter for his age. I'm going to say Churyo is going to win out because I think fantasy players will like him more. I think there's going to be a lot more popularity on the fantasy side because of Churyo's speed. It's game-changing speed. And Churyo, if he 30-30s, like that's some big news, right? So, yeah, I'm going to go. Churyo falls in the same category as Acuna and J-Rod and Churyo. That's what I see. So, obviously, I think J-Rod is more superior. Defensively, Acuna has better arm, probably faster, but Churrio's just as fast. So Churrio's going to steal like 30 to 50 bags a year. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Churyo.
Okay.
So Hyung's got so much like information and statistics to back up his decision making.
This is not like based on that though.
No, but it's also like you're a pro, right? Like you know baseball in and out, like the actual game and the actual playing of it and the hitting and all that. But for me, when I look at the two of them, I look more at like peripherals. So, one of them's on Milwaukee. Yeah. One of them's on Baltimore. One of them's, like generally a good looking surfer dude, white guy with long hair. And the other one's Jackson Churyo. It looks fine. I feel like one is more marketable than the other for most of North America. And I feel like, we can argue whether that should or should not play, but it does play, right? And so, I also think Baltimore's set up for way more success than the Brewers are. I know that Baltimore has a bunch of other studs, so that kind of could eat away at Holiday's like star status. But I don't know, Hyung, do you think he's going to be the best out of all of those Baltimore kids?
Yeah,
he's going to be the best.
Yeah, he's going to be the best.
So then, in the end, you're ultimately judged by how many championships you win, and so I think Baltimore has more chances to win. So I'm leaning towards Holiday. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So this is interesting because I asked you the first question about whether you choose the MLB debut patch versus Super, and then Holiday over Churyo. So I'm going to mix those two up, right? So you'll see what I mean. And they're both the same for you guys because you chose different players.
Mind messing me up. With this eBay deal, I don't know what's going on with this eBay deal. There's so many things, and now there's so many stipulations here. Okay,
you'll see what I mean. This will be the same because you guys chose different players and you chose different cards, like MLB debut patch versus Superfractor Auto, right? So for Hyung and Will, would you rather have Jackson Churrio's MLB debut patch or Jackson Holiday's Superfractor Auto?
Mine's easy. Mine's easy. The Superfractor Auto, the Holiday Superfractor Auto, because I don't like the debut patch that much more than the Superfractor Auto. Okay. But I do like Holiday a little. It's hard for me to like him because it's AL East, divisional rivals.
Yeah.
But I don't own any other. Okay. I don't own any other AL East team hats, but I do have the Baltimore Orioles cap. So
yeah, I'm gonna go Superfractor, man. I'm telling you, I'm not sold. I'm not sold. You got to think about it. So I get it. Like I'm on the MLB. I'm on board. Just disclaimer. I'm on board with the MLB debut patch. There has been zero sales to prove that it would ever be a 6-figure card to date, other than a bounty that was out, a manufactured bounty. there has been numerous superfractor sales over and over again of 6 figures. So that didn't happen overnight. That's how strong the Bowman First Chrome brand is. So to me, I as much as I'm a little more on the page of MLB patch debut patches, I'm telling you, superfractors are still the OG. They will always be the OG because they sold for millions, right? End of story.
Ooh. Wow, it's both easy for you. I thought this would be more challenging, but
we both chose
think...
the superfractor though.
Yeah.
No, Will chose the MLB.
No, he chose superfractor.
No, I chose the holiday.
Holiday,
right. The holiday superfractor, right? But you chose
the holiday superfractor.
Standing alone.
Just on superfractor.
So,
yeah. He chose it based on player. I chose it based on card.
Yeah. So for me, it's going to be a holiday superfractor sweep because I feel the same way. But at the same time, you know, when you're mentioning MLB debut patch sales, like Jackson Holiday is going to get 6 figures without the bounty, right?
Yeah.
Like his holiday MLB debut patch rookie auto 1 of 1 is a 6-figure card, in my opinion. I might be totally wrong, but I think it's a 6-figure card regardless. And if he, plays the way a lot of us expect him to, like have a really amazing career, that's only going to go up, I think. And I think MLB debut patches, as they become a yearly thing, to your point, it's going to take time. But let's say 10, 15, 20 years down the road,
Different conversation.
I think it's going to be more coveted for sure.
I agree.
Excellent points. All right. That was my Would You Rather. It was a 3-step Would You Rather.
That was a donkey punch in the gut.
Levels on levels.
That's my Inception Would You Rather segment. Did you guys have one? Or do we want to go to pick one?
I got a couple.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's hear it.
You know, it's funny, Clark. Before this episode, I thought, it's gonna be kind of short because usually episodes with you, me, and Hyung are shorter than you, me, and John. But this one's
right.
This one's gonna be up there.
It's getting there.
All right, so I got one. Bowman Chrome Superfractor Auto or Topps Chrome Superfractor Auto. Just quick.
Quick Bowman Chrome, not first. You're talking
Bowman
about
Chrome first. Superfractor Auto, Bowman Chrome,
Bowman Chrome, easy.
Okay,
easy. Bowman
There's
Chrome.
got to be
Easy.
some kind of
Bowman Chrome.
Yeah, easy.
Okay, Bowman Chrome, out of 50 gold. Is it gold? Is out of 50? Yeah, gold shimmer.
Yep.
Versus Superfractor, Topps Chrome Superfractor Auto.
Topps Chrome Superfractor Auto.
Oh, okay.
Topps Chrome, yeah.
What's below gold?
Orange.
In Bowman Chrome.
Orange.
They have orange
and red.
25? Okay, so it's the same. So orange out of 25, Bowman Chrome First Auto or Superfractor Auto?
I'm going Superfractor.
For Topps Chrome?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so then it's out of 5 red Bowman Chrome First, Superfractor Auto or Topps Chrome Superfractor
On a
Auto?
superstar player?
Yeah.
Red.
On Shohei Ohtani.
Red.
Red.
On Shohei Ohtani? Okay. Shohei Ohtani.
No, Shohei's different.
Yeah,
Shohei's different. He's got weird
yeah.
cards.
He can't.
Vladdy Guerrero.
I'm going to go red Bowman Chrome
Red.
Auto.
Wow.
Me too.
I think
Really?
that's where my line is.
So you guys value a red out of 5 Bowman Chrome First of some photoshopped garbage over the Topps Chrome.
All cards are
over Topps
photoshopped.
Chrome Superfractor Auto.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Topps
I kind of want to know where that line was.
I just think Topps Chrome just doesn't have the name it used to have. It fell a lot, and there's no legs behind it usually. So it's like when, let's just say a player, it's like the PSA 9 thing. If a player's card market crashes, PSA 9s will go so fast down. And then they go in order kind of. And I feel like Topps Chrome goes down really quick compared to Bowman.
The Bowman Chromes.
Yeah, the Bowmans are the last to go. So I just think that there's so much difference between Bowman Chrome and Topps Chrome. So yeah, it would be like Superfractor to red for me.
Got it. Okay, I got one last one. Would you rather? This is only for baseball cards. They're both non-numbered. Okay, so it's like the newer refractors. Pink refractor or sepia refractor.
I hate both.
Wait. Sorry, I have to add a caveat. Your collection is now just pink refractor or just sepia.
You've been hanging around with John too much. This is definitely a John. You guys been having your own off-air podcast on this. You guys could do this for hours. God damn. Sepia so bad. I'm gonna go pink.
It's easy for me.
I'm going pink.
It's easy for me. Me too. I can't stand sepia. Yeah, it's
All right.
it's dirty brown. I don't know what color that is, to tell you the truth.
Old timey. Yeah.
It's like platinum. You know, the equivalent of
the platinum.
The platinum 101 we all hate. All right, you know what? That's another fun thing. Maybe we'll do it in the future. We'll like lightning round. Would you rather?
Come up with more ridiculous ones that piss Hyung off.
Right,
no, it's all love, man. It's all love.
It was good. All right, let's finish off the show with our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. It's similar to Would You Rather, but this is specific cards or sets, and then we debate which one we would rather invest in. So, Hyung, you're back. You want to start things off for us?
Sure. Let's. Okay, so I'm gonna actually go Anthony Volpe. He's an interesting guy to me because I think I always believed in him, and it was more when is it going to happen. Last year was horrendous with bursts of flash that it looks promising, but obviously, hit like low 200s, but he's hitting 370 now. His WAR is up. He's a very impactful person on the Yankees. I think he brings a lot of value to the Yankees, a lot of excitement. He's only 22 years old. He's a small kid. He's not that big. And like I said, I remember Bobby Witt and Volpe and CJ Abrams. Those three were up the middle for Team USA. So Volpe can play. Yeah. Trust me, he can play. I think he's going to be an all-star. So I'm going to go. I think he's going to have a good year this year. So I think his prices are going to go up. I think his prices tanked in the last couple years because of anticipation. So we're going to go with his Bowman first. Base auto, PSA 10. Okay. It sold for $470. Would you rather have a PSA 10 Bowman first, so it would be 2020, or would you rather have a Topps Chrome Purple Refractor Rookie Auto PSA 10 that sold for $550?
Of Volpe. They're both Volpe.
They're both Volpe. One's a base auto PSA 10, and the other one's a Topps Chrome, a base auto Bowman Chrome, and then the other one's a Topps Chrome Purple PSA 10, 250 out of 250.
I could go first. I'm kind of off base autos, even for first Bowman. I'm kind of even like I think we talked about this last week, right? Like
I would never.
This is just the same as the Would You Rather.
It is.
They're both awful.
And I hate purple refractors, but but it is numbered, right, to 250.
250, yeah.
I don't know. Well, you know what I've been saying consistently in this bear market. I'd rather have something that's serial numbered, like an actual like scarcity, So that's why, and that's why I'm kind of leaning towards that. If it was during the pandemic time, I'm like, oh, first Bowman, it's the prestige of first Bowman and base, and then I could, everything's liquid anyways. But I'm gonna go Topps Chrome Purple.
Wow.
They Hyung, you said that they sell for about the same?
Yeah, they're about the same, $500, I would say, give or take. I'd say the first Bowman's a little cheaper. The base.
I hate purple. I hate purple so much. I hate purple so much that I would pick the Bowman Chrome.
Wow. Just because
I
of the
hate Bowman
purple?
Chrome. Yeah, I hate purple. I've had nothing but bad experiences with owning purple auto cards.
It's
They
interesting.
never do well for me. Yeah, I'm like
Purples
not
are
into purple anymore.
not like that all in baseball, especially. That's interesting.
I haven't made good money off purple cards, so I'm off purple.
It's trauma.
Did you have a Ronald Acuna? Topps
I
Chrome
did.
purple?
I did not do well on that sale. I mean, it was
Wow.
also a BGS 9.
It was a
so
BGS 9, so that probably hurt
that
it
was
a bit.
that was the part that hurt it. Yeah, but I sold at the height of Acuna's MVP season.
Okay.
And I
still
still-
didn't do
But
well.
his
It still
prices
didn't
were
do
so
well.
high before that, so
Yeah.
it was just correcting.
So I'm off purple. I'm done. With it.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the first Bowman actually.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I do like the card itself. I think it's a great looking card, like his first Bowman, and just remembering when I was ripping 2020 Bowman and Anthony Volpe pulled it and he would just go into common card section. So yeah. But then seeing it, I think 470 is a good price. If he, goes off, I think it could easily double, or if he really goes off, it could potentially triple. So I'm gonna go with the first Bowman because I think the pricing is pretty good, and I go with my theory of price going up. The first Bowmans are you're gonna get the best value out of the first Bowmans first before anything.
Good one. I might change my mind, but excellent. Excellent. Pick one. All right. Well, you got one?
Yeah. In honor of the Masters tournament, I have picked two golfers. But before I present those two golfers to you, I have to tell you, golf really needs to up their game with cards. If you want the current number one golfer in the world, do you want his rookie card? It's Scotty Scheffler. You want his rookie card? The only card you can get is a Sports Illustrated for Kids cutout.
Wow.
What about the number 3 golfer in the world, John Rahm? Again, Sports Illustrated for Kids cutout. That's the only card he has. What about the number 4 guy, Wyndham Clark, who just came off winning and is featured on season 2 of the Netflix special?
Right.
Panini, Topps, Upper Deck. They've never heard of this guy, Wyndham Clark, because they didn't make any cards of him. Number 5, Xander Schauffele. Still, only Sports Illustrated for Kids card. So in the current world golf rankings, out of the top 20, there's only 2 golfers that have cards worth collecting. That's number 20, Colin Morikawa, and number 2, Rory McIlroy. So I'm going to focus on number 2, Rory. He's got a lot of cards, but his first rookie card is from 2012, Upper Deck SP. It says 2012 Upper Deck SP Game Used. There's no game used portion of the card. I don't know why they call it that. It's a short printed card, so it's kind of like it was short printed in the set. It has a pop of 21 PSA 10s, 93 BGS 9.5s. So really, really low pop. In 2023, there were 5 sales of the BGS 9.5, and the average sale was $333. Okay? But the last sale in November was for only $205 of BGS 9.5. So do you pick that card, which is his first rookie card? It's a short printed card. It's super low pop, like about 100 cards. Or do you pick the current 959th best player in the world, Tiger Eldrick Woods? You can have his Upper Deck base card, which has a current pop of 13,500 PSA 10s, or 29,500 total gems across all the major graders. In the last month, there have been 35 sales of PSA 10, average price $230. So you can have a $230 base Tiger Woods or a $200 to $300 short printed Rory McIlroy.
So Just quick. Before COVID happened, I bought those Tiger Woods base PSA 10s. Probably for an average price of about $75. I bought a lot of them.
Wow.
And I sold a lot of them, almost all of them, at peak. And it was probably around $1,000. I remember Roy was like, "What do I do? What do I do?" I'm like, "Sell." And after that, I never owned one ever again.
The Tiger?
Yeah. So you have my answer.
Why?
It's Rory. That card. They're everywhere. Pop 13,000.
Oh, I see.
Right?
Pop 29,500 gems.
Yeah, exactly. Like that says it all for me. Like there's other Tiger cards that are amazing. I think the most underrated, underpriced. If you're going to shop for a Tiger Woods card and you have a smaller budget, go SP Authentic. His preview sample. It's called SP Authentic 2001 preview sample. PSA 10, super low pop. Probably same price as the upper deck. But yeah, I'm going with the Rory.
I don't know much about golf, but I know enough that I know Rory and Tiger. Obviously more about Tiger, but it's despite the pop count. I'm just looking at the pop count. It's crazy that's $225. Like, and it's like at that level for a while now. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't, like I'm just looking at the graph. It's, we're going back to 2022, early 2023. It's been stable at about 200, between 200 to 300, right? I think that's the bottom. And I think it's going to be liquid at that number. And what was the pop count for Rory?
21 PSA 10s, 93 BGS 95s.
And
it's around the same price?
Yeah.
A little more expensive. Right? A little more expensive.
Like an average of $333.
As opposed to $230.
Such low pop. But the price tells me everything. It's not that desirable. So I'm going to stick with Tiger. I like the bottom where it's at. And if I need to get rid of it, I think it's easier for me to get rid of the Tiger at that price.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Everything tells me that it should be Rory. But
ooh, okay.
I love Tiger Woods so much. Like I just in preparation of the Masters this weekend, I rewatched his 2019. Like they put all 5.5 hours of his final round on YouTube, like the Masters does for you to watch, and I just skipped through that. I watched that video in its entirety. Well, I skipped through a lot of the parts of it, but I watch that video at least 3-4 times a year. Like, I love Tiger Woods. I watch that. I watch the Texas Rangers versus Toronto Blue Jays playoff game. That's right, seventh inning. I watch those two videos at least 4 times a year.
I was at that game as well.
Yeah, I sold tickets.
You were there?
I sold
wow.
the tickets to that game. I made a tiny little profit, but I wish I went to that game. But yeah, like if I'm gonna throw a couple $100 down the drain, I'm gonna do it for my guy Tiger. So I pick Tiger.
Yes, Tiger wins. All right, good one. Okay, we'll end off with my pick one, and I thought about this because right before we recorded, our friend Roy, who's also been on the pod, he mentioned or he joked that with that $375,000 amount that the eBay spent, the Shohei's interpreter spent on sports cards, and it's reported that he's bought about 1,000. And he did the quick math. That's about $375 per card. And then Roy was saying, what kind of junk cards was he buying? So in light of that, I'm picking a couple of Shohei cards eBay might have bought for about $400. Okay.
I like it. I like this.
So which one would you choose? This is, maybe he already has a couple of these, but all right. On one side, you got your 2018 Topps Chrome Shohei Ohtani pink refractor, the pitching one, PSA 10. So that's his rookie card, right? The pink refractor. We are just talking about it before with another card. His 2018 Topps Chrome in his white jersey.
Oh, that was the white jersey. Okay, yeah. Okay, pink.
Yeah, not the update. Topps Chrome.
Yeah, the white jersey.
Pitching, pink refractor. Yeah. PSA 10. And on the other side, 2020, so it's a non-rookie. Topps Finest. Shohei Ohtani, gold refractor, numbered to 50, but it's a PSA 9. So they're both $400. eBay probably has both of them.
2020 Finest?
Yes. 2020 Topps Finest gold refractor, numbered to 50.
I want to see this image. I'm a Shohei
I gotta
collector.
see the picture.
It's not the baseball finest, is it?
No, it's this one here that I'm showing on screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
You put it on string. Okay.
I think if it was the
2020.
finest flashbacks, I would go with the gold Ohtani. But since it's not, I'm gonna go with the pink. Yeah, I think that's his main rookie card, not the US one Topps Update red jersey or the Topps Chrome Update red jersey. I think the Topps 700 and this Chrome 150 is your card. So I'm gonna go pink refractor for that. Yeah, if it was if there's a finest flashbacks, sick card. That reminds me of when we were collecting in the 90s. It's from the set. Shohei has a 2020 finest flashbacks gold. If it were that, I would go that.
All right, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always about the photo first, and that 2020 Finest one, it's not my favorite pose of Shohei's. Like, it's like after his swing, or it's like, and yeah, so I'm not a big fan of that. I do like that it's gold. I don't like that it's not rookie, but generally, like, I'm the guy who's collecting non-rookie cards the most out of all of us. But I wish the image was a little bit better. And, in that same way that earlier I said that I don't like purples, I love pinks. Pinks have been so good to me. That Shohei pitching card that you chose for your pick one, I sold that card for massive profit. I see that card and I get so happy because I'm like, oh, I made money on that card. And then like Vladdy pinks, I made good money on those. So every time I see pink in Vladdy or Shohei, I get happy. So I pick that one.
All right. Well, it's the opposite of you with purple refractors then.
Exactly.
The pink makes you feel good. Okay.
Oh, Hyung just linked the finest flashback. Yeah, I love that one.
That's a sick
I would
card.
pick that one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just being a Shohei collector,
right.
I would want that. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna choose. I don't like pink. I think my reasoning is essentially going to be what Will said about purple. Just don't like purple, so I'm going to go with the other card. It's gold. I don't love it that it's a PSA 9. I don't love it that it's a rookie, but I got to stay true with how I'm buying things these days. It's got to be numbered. That's kind of higher on my priority list these days, and it's gold. So I'm going to go with the Topps Finest. Simple as that. All right. I thought that was a fun episode. A lot of interesting developments and a lot of news. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more as the summer comes along. Thanks again for all of you guys tuning into Cards to the Moon. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't rated us yet and you enjoyed this episode, we would love it if you gave us 5 stars. And we'll have a brand new episode for you guys on Friday. Talk to you then. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.